first speaker is Dr. Yumi. She's director of the Department of Health Policy Research and Evaluation, Korea Health Promotion Institute of Korea. And her research interest encompasses health policy, health promotion, and she has a lot of experiences in this field in Korea. So I wish she can introduce the Korean health promotion. And I'm very thrilled about to hear about health literacy today. So give a big applause to Dr.
Good morning, everyone. It's great pleasure to present with you today. As before she mentioned, I'm Yumi Oh, and I'm Director of Health Policy Research and Evaluation at Korean Health Promotion Institute. Before we start, I will introduce our organization. Our organization is a public institute under the Ministry of Health and Welfare. So we develop health policy for central government, and we develop and disseminate content and program of health promotion for local government. Okay, this is my presentation. So let's start about the strategies improve health literacy for health promotion. This is content. So I will give an overview of health literacy and introduce about action plan for the health literacy of the country and Korea. And after that, I'll introduce health literacy in Korea and the measurement tool. Last one is the way forward. First one is overview of health literacy. How is health literacy different from general literacy? Health literacy builds literacy skill but also cultural and contextual factor. So it involves the belief, experience, and preference. So that includes the topic area and conceptual knowledge, such as knowledge of the body and how it works, or counts on specific health condition and disease. You can see the illustration. So readability, plain language, health literacy. That is, readability is the ability to access just the information, but the plain language is about being able to understand information. But health literacy is empowering individual to make decisions. So that is health literacy. So we have a main definition of health literacy. So WHO talk about that. That is people to assess, understand, appraise, and use information and service to make decisions. So, and EU and CDC similar definition. So, US CDC is ability to find, understand, and use information to make decisions. So that is very integrated model for health literacy. So you can see it. So there are concept and process of health literacy. So the model emphasizes the social related character of health literacy by including personal, social, environmental situation factors, influence and individual health literacy. So we have four phrases: assess, understanding, appraisal, and application. So that is very famous integrated model for health literacy. So that is the definition of health literacy organization. So that focus on organization support people to find, understand, and use information. And let's look at the action plan for the health literacy by by other countries. So US have a national action plan to improve health literacy, and they have 7 goals. So you can see the screen. And as people 2030, they have involved with health literacy. And Australia, that is action plan for Australia. So definition, and they have 3 areas. So one is embedding health literacy into system, and second one is ensuring effective communication. So that is print or internet or electronic information that involved. And integrating health literacy into education, so that is micro education system. UK have a slogan, so making it easier. So they have a 4 method. So shared learning from making it easier across the Scotland. And second one is embed way to improve health literacy in policy and practice. Third one is develop more health literacy responsive organization and communication. Last one is design support and service to better improve health literacy. And Germany have a similar national action plan, so the objective method is the screen, and they have 5 principles, so you can see it. So so how can we measure health literacy? Actually, in Korea, we don't have a regular national survey about health literacy. But in this year, the official result of health literacy releases the end of this year. So I want to explain about that. So health literacy measure tool that is commonly use this one, and so US use first one, test of functional health literacy in adults, and EU use the European health literacy survey questionnaire. So US program for international assessment of adult capacity, and that is area and finding. You can see the screen. And EU HLS, they have a national survey, so they have a 47 questionnaire and 3 domains. The domain is healthcare, disease prevention, and health promotion. And some domain is the same, so assess, understand, apply, apply. So I'm talking about statistics of general literacy and health literacy. So that is the progress of global general literacy. So there are progress of global general literacy. So global literacy rate is about 87%, but in 1820, the literacy rate is just 12%. So the overall literacy rate is improving. So Korean general literacy is very high. So you can see 98%, 8%. So South Korea have very high level general literacy. So I will explain about the in aspect of health literacy. Health literacy in Europe. So you can see the health literacy rate in Europe ranged from 30% to 70%. The average rate is 51.5%. Based on current level of general literacy in Korea, we expected health literacy rate is expected to about 60 or 70, but we don't know what. In December, we know about that. So health literacy in Korea. So why we need health literacy in Korea? I will explain about that. Korean government need health literacy strategy because the need for health literacy strategies, so changing disease pattern and the importance of self-management. But we have a challenge because we don't have national data on health literacy, and because national health literacy survey tool, we don't have it. So we develop and do a national survey, and we need more data. So we established strategy in HP 2030. So the HP 2030 is the national health plan that is 10-year long-term plan that provides the direction for health policy to promote health and prevent disease to people. So you can see the final goal is extend the health life expectancy and enhance health equity. So it has 6 areas, you can see it, and 28 key tasks, and 83 projects, and 400 performance indexes. So health-friendly environment area, and 25th, that is key task is improving of health literacy. So I will talk about that. So for promoting health equity through health literacy, we have to three things. That is action plan. So one is regular monitoring of health literacy, and second one is establish health literacy education system, and establish and monitor health information provision system. So that is task content. So if we have to monitoring for health literacy, so we have to develop a national health literacy survey tool and conduct regular survey and develop evidence for health promotion strategy and effective way to provide health information. Second one is health literacy education system established. So develop education material to improve health literacy specific to population group, and provide education in partnership with the health center and public hospital, school, and so on. And develop key health living message, kind of Scotland to make it easier, and conduct monthly campaign. So for monitor health information delivery system, we provide national level verified health information through a comprehensive health information portal, and establish the standardized health information distribution guideline for public institution and integrated operation plan, and establish the information quality management and monitoring system through the establishment of standard management guideline for private health promotion sector. So we do the task from 2021 to 2030. So in progress project go on some task, and we finish the make a survey tool, and we have a we have a regular national survey. So health literacy in Korea, we 2021 announced of HP 2030, and 2022 we developed our health management tool. So we did health literacy survey, and I will talk about that. So health literacy results released in this month, in end of this month. So I will introduce about the health literacy survey questionnaire. We have two questionnaire. So one is that is self-reported question, and second is we have a two-type question. So that is knowledge-based question, and that is self-reported question. So we use domain also assess, understand, appraise, apply based on this theory. So 10 questions and measure on a 4 scale. So far we have completed the development of health literacy measurement tool and implemented national surveys, but we have to develop health literacy education system. So in progress, so we have an education system and improve health literacy education for different population group, and improve health communication in healthcare delivery. Last one, the way forward. this is strategy for health literacy, and I want to talk about this that we have 3 objectives. So leadership, and second one is investment and financial resources. Last one is data governance. So if that factor need to more maintain or make, so we have to people-centered service, and we use information and technology and innovation. And we have to partnership in community resource. So that is my last one is further task. So in Korea we have 4 tasks. So one is unifying official terminology and define concept in health literacy. So we last year we surveyed, and some people don't know about that. So we have a defined concept in health literacy and e-literacy and digital literacy too. And second one is monitoring the level of health literacy at the national level. So we make sustainable monitoring system and integrated management are needed. And third one is develop and implement of strategy to promote health literacy. So we are implement HP 2030, include health literacy. So we have a detailed strategy for improving health literacy. I think last one is very important. So we implement a multi-sectoral strategy to promote health literacy for different population group. So health literacy is about more than just understanding information. I think so. It helped me make right decision, and it helped people in my community make appropriate decision. So when people have access to right health information, they are more likely to take an active role in their own health. So that is my end of presentation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yumi-Oh, and it's nice to see you again since August in Taiwan. And next, I would like to introduce our second speaker, Dr. Masamune Jinba from Japan, Professor Emeritus at the University of Tokyo. And he got his MD, PhD, and MPH in Japan. He's the master of global health in Japan and worldwide as well. And he has a very rich experience in the field of global health, and once worked with the WHO and JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency. And he was once the president of Japan Association for Global Health and APAC. He has health projects in Asia, Africa, and Latin America for more than 20 years. So basically, he's everywhere. So let's welcome Dr. Jinba.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction. I have been a member of CCHP since from the beginning, and I have been the obedient servant of CCHP for many years, and they always gave me a very challenging topic for my presentation. And because of my mistake, the talk synopsis written in this document is the old one. I made a mistake and I didn't send the right one to the organizing committee. So today's topic is about women's empowerment in Japan. So the keyword was empowerment, and when I searched empowerment in Japan, almost 2 pages on the website, women's empowerment. So I decided to talk about women's empowerment in Japan without knowing what I'm going to talk. So the title came first, and then I developed today's presentation topics. So these three are the topics I'm going to talk today. Empowerment versus behavior change, and then empowerment for health, and then women's empowerment for what? And I used to think behavior change is one of the most important goals in health promotion. But behavior change is sometimes causing problems. During COVID-19 in Japan, behavior change of the citizens, one of the major pillars. This was identified by the government. Then these three C's were allocated in a top-down way. Avoid crowded places, avoid close contact settings, and avoid confined and enclosed spaces. And it became part of WHO WIPRO's main directions to go to avoid COVID-19. Then I found this paper very interesting, written by Professor Tengland. Behavior change is sometimes a problem. It may cause paternalism, or it may cause victim blaming and stigmatization for smokers and for those who are trying to reduce body weight. And if you target these things, and if you cannot stop smoking, or if you cannot reduce your body weight, you may be stigmatized because you are not be able to change behaviors. So this is a risk of doing behavior change. And then it may increase inequality in health. Also, this may be a wrong approach, targeting only risks. And we may forget about the importance of targeting causes of causes. So I started to change, to look at the goal of health promotion, maybe not behavior change. And the same author says empowerment is very important. And behavior change, about the behavior change, Dr. Glenn Laverock, he came to the University of Tokyo, and he wrote this book during disease epidemic and Ebola epidemic in West Africa. Based on his experience, he wrote this book, and he sent it to me. And in this book, he wrote, "People do not resist change. They resist being changed." You may have similar experience when you are studying, trying to enter a good high school or good universities. You are about to study very hard to enter the good school, and then parents told you, study hard, or else you may not be able to enter Yonsei University, Seoul National University. Study hard, study hard. Then you lose willingness to study. I was about to study, and don't tell me. I want to study by my own will. So we resist being changed. This is our common behavior. And empowerment, someone said this is a goal. Others say this is a process, maybe both. And in the book, paper of Tengland, he defined empowerment like this. To be empowered is to have control over the determinants of one's quality of life. The more control one has over these determinants, the more empowered one is. I will repeat it again later. Then what are the strengths of empowerment approach? it focuses on broader issues, education, jobs, and others. And usually, ordinary people do not care much about health. Many of them, husband's jobs, wife's jobs, children's education, these things are much prioritized things, and health comes after that. But empowerment focuses on this whole matters, and it reduces the risk of victim blaming and stigmatization. It also focuses on the inequality themselves, and it also targets the causes of the causes. So empowerment seems to be much important goal of health promotion than simple behavior change. And this paper differentiates the difference between population at risk and vulnerable population. Population at risk, this is risk-based approach. But vulnerable population, they are the people who are at higher risk of risks. It is a little bit complicated, but Aboriginal people or homeless people, these vulnerable population, they are at risk of higher risk of risks. And we may need different approach. And this paper says we need intersectoral approach and participatory action for empowerment. And my work in the past about empowerment, there are several. You may watch the booklet later. And one of the approach I did in Vietnam, this was for improving water quality and nutrition. And we try to empower Water Management Union, who is in charge of water improvement. And top-down approach from the project team by us, it didn't work. But after training or giving education and skills for villagers, they started to supervise very well. So this dual supervision from both sides worked very well to make a success of this project. So empowerment has such a strong power to increase their supervision activities. Then women's empowerment for health in Japan. I'd like to show just one example of maternal and child health handbook. And in, before the Second World War, MMR, IMR, very high, 300, 150. In some African countries, the situation is also similar. Then in 1948, we developed Bosch Techo, or maternal child health, and maternal and child health handbook, without no evidence. And without RCT or anything, the government implemented this, and this maternal and child health handbook coverage was almost 100% from the beginning. And it empowered many women in Japan, and the major roles has been changed according to the change of infant mortality rate. Then mothers have been empowered by recording their own health programs and babies' health programs, and using this simple kit, simple tool, was very effective for empowerment. And it strengthened mother facility link. And this has been a tool to connect people, service, and systems. And it's getting very much digital now, although we are also using the paper record. And globally, this kind of case note is well appreciated. Women carrying their own notes, and it empowers empower them. And in Ghana, we did this project. And in Ghana, mothers' record and children's record was separate. But throughout our activities, it was combined, just with one-page card. Maternal child health handbook, sometimes very thick, and mothers are not interested in reading and doing record for the very thick one, particularly in low-income countries. So we developed one simple card, and it was very successful, and it became a government policy in Ghana. And we also documented the implementation procedure. So if you're interested in it, you may access to this paper. We study reach, effectiveness, adoption, implementation, and maintenance. We also work with World Medical Association to make some statement about the importance of this book. And we wrote empowerment is very important. Then the last point, women's empowerment. There are 3 gender-related indices, GGI, GDI, GII, Gender Gap Index from World Economic Forum, and Gender Development Index, and the Gender Inequality Index. The bottom 2 are from UNDP. The top one is World Economic Forum. These are the indicators: economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment. And Japan is always proud of the ranking, 118th out of 146 countries. So we are a developing country in terms of gender index. Why Japan is so low? Partly because of poor economic participation and opportunity. This is not very clear, but there are a big difference between men and women, particularly leadership. CCHP, women's power is very strong. Look at speakers. I'm a minority. I'm only one. All women. So Japan should learn lessons from CCHP. Then how about the World Health statistics? Japan is the top. Life expectancy at birth, 80.5. Life expectancy is the top in the world, but gender index is extremely low. So my question, if the health indicator is good enough, what is the role of women's empowerment in Japan? So I decided to learn lessons from Iceland. With this country, the gender index is always first, second, or third, very high. And their gender index is also high. And their happiness index is very high. So I thought maybe women's empowerment in Japan can improve social support, health life, and the freedom to make life choices, generosity, perceptions of corruption. These things we are still behind. So maybe women's empowerment in Japan can make these indicators much better. So this is World Happiness Report. And then this is related with me. Global Retirement Index. You may not have seen this, but Iceland, this index is also very high. Global Retirement Index. In Japan, it's not so good. It's also good. So, but for myself, this index should be improved. And they looked at 4 indicators. Health, so health is okay. Quality of life, it's also okay. But finances in retirement, this is a big problem for me now. My income is now 1/10 of the previous one. So, I need money. Then, material well-being. Usually in my presentation, I don't say money is important. So this is the first time in my life, money is the key. And the material well-being, but we may need something more. And I'd like to think about it. What is more important? So this is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much.
Dr. Junba is not just very handsome, but also sexy. And a very compassionate philosopher. We always learn a lot from his speech and being inspired by him. So actually, Dr. Hong Yi-Chu and I, under his encouragement, we established our own Taiwan Association for Global Health Initiative just last year. So he's the father of whatever, I don't know, okay. So we learned a lot from him, except the hairstyle.
Thank you, Dr. Simba. It's very mainstream approach for us, and it is a good compliment for women here, for the future leaders. And let me introduce next speaker, Dr. Yarin. She is honorary professor at the Faculty of Medicine, University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and president emeritus at APACPH. And I'm honored to introduce her. She is the plenary special speaker today, and we are lucky to hear the story of community resilience in Malaysia continuously here. Please give her a big applause.
So much for IT technology. Okay, folks, how many of you all were at the opening ceremony this morning? All of you, right? That is you. Guys, my lecture has ended. This is in the lecture. From at the end of the lecture. Really? Talking about resilience, this is what is happening.
Dr. Boyle, okay, good.
Okay. Right. let's get it going. Okay, so my talk will be community resilient in action. Yeah, so basically what I'm presenting here, it's a model that we have done, we have developed, under the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development. So this is one of our consulting projects that we have just ended, and it's being implemented in the community out there. All right. Right. Okay, I think I will just proceed. Right. So I'll quickly walk through with you what resilience is all about, and particularly focusing on the family, and what happens to the family institution following the COVID-19 pandemic, and then moving forward as to how we develop, the family wellness intervention program. And so now the concept of resilience has actually come to the forefront. In the field of medicine and in the field of mental health aspect. And there are many definitions of resilient here. And like I said earlier during the opening, it's actually the process of adapting well and responding individually or collectively in the face of any crisis. The crisis might be individual, your own personal life as well. One has to be resilient. All of us go through trials and tribulations in our life, and how can we be resilient in order for us to adapt to that kind of adversity or crisis in your life? Or in a family aspect as well, you and your spouse, with the family, with the children, how can we become more resilient to deal with family crisis? And in the community, in the population as well, in a more macro level, how can we be more resilient, the community be more resilient to deal with crisis in the community or in the population, all right? And so that's exactly what resilient is all about. Now, when we talk about, family resilient or community resilient, it is how the family or the community adapt, recover and thrive in the face of adversity. Now, if you look into the literature, there are various definitions as to what resilience is all about. It varies because, depending on the context that you're talking, if you are dealing with resilience. And it is a multifaceted concept. It involves social, it involves economic, environment, and infrastructure dimensions. And the capacity of the community to adapt and prepare for potential crisis, absorb and adapt to adverse condition, and also transform and improve from past experiences. So we are much better, we are more resilient, due to our past experiences. And the concept of resilience involves two very critical factors, and they are social cohesion and adaptive capacity. And as far as adaptive component is concerned, it's the ability to withstand and adjust to unfavorable conditions and shock. And absorptive, the ability to withstand and to recover and rebound, back. And anticipatory, the ability to predict and what will happen next. And all this comes with, your past experiences. And transformative changes so that the system copes better with new conditions. Now, the other aspect is social network. That's the trust and collaboration between the community members as well. And this is important as far as health promotion of community resilience is to be expected. And the community people as well must be involved in the development and execution of the program, because at the end of the day, it's the community that you want them to be resilient. Social cohesion, exactly what is this social cohesion? That is, strengthening the relationship and a sense of solidarity among members of the community. Now, high level of social cohesion is characterized by mutual trust, the shared values and active participation in the community. And all this plays a very crucial role in providing emotional support. Now, if you belong to a very close-knit community, they can offer you psychological help, emotional support, to deal with the stress and anxiety in the community, and facilitating information sharing as well. This is where the social network comes in, where during a crisis there will be time to provide quality or accurate dissemination of information to the community, be it safety measures or what other information that may be related to the crisis. And of course, enhancing collective action, that is hearing the whole community as a whole, their perspective and their needs. And adaptive capacity, the community to adjust its practices, structure and system in response to the changing conditions. And of course, it also involves flexibility to learn from a past experience and to innovate and implement new strategies to deal with any particular crisis. And all this involves diverse and flexible resources to be able to access to financial resources, to be able to access to any assets, and also human resources as well. And inclusive governance, that means the decision making of every member of the community is to be heard and to be taken into consideration during any implementation. And of course, knowledge and learning as well, continuous learning and integration of new technology and new knowledge. And this resilient in action, I won't go into it, I just focus on my Malaysia, since it's a Malaysian scenario. Right, now when we developed the whole family intervention itself, it is based on the effect of COVID-19. And of course, we are looking into the family institution, in marriage in the family institution. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the marriage institution is actually affected. And of course, it increased, psychological stress due to the perception of COVID-19 as a health threat. Increased time spent with family, decreased time away from the home. And of course, the whole concept of parenting, is affected during the COVID-19. Now we have a whole generation of online learning, and so how do you actually parent the kids, with such knowledge, internet knowledge. And so what we look at is looking at the lifestyle and mental health component, such as increased time screen, sedentary lifestyle. All these are all affected, they affect the family. And working from home, to career parents, so you have to juggle between work and personal space, household chore, and children as well. So there need to be, you do need to have a work-life balance. And family well-being and spousal relationship during COVID-19, that has seriously deteriorated, and we look into that as well. And so basically, due to the movement control order, because of the pandemic, the family well-being is affected in terms of physical, mental, and socio-economic impact. And our objective is to come up with an evidence-based family wellness intervention project focusing on building resilience. And so what we look at, the components is lifestyle and well-being, work-life balance, intimacy in the new normal, and parenting the online generation. You may be wondering why we are focusing on these 4 components in our module. It's because we did a systematic review, and from that review and also from our qualitative research, these are the components that are voiced out by the community. And therefore, we took those results to inform the development of our module. So this is what family resilience is all about, because we're dealing with a family resilience, the ability to withstand and rebound from any disruptive life challenges. Those people in this field, I'm sure you know from Walsh, he's the leading authority in family resilience. He's a psychologist, well known in this whole area. And so what he mentioned is turning adversity into a catalyst for family growth, and also enriching the relationship and making family members more skilled at coping with future stresses. And it has got 9 processes. The main component: beliefs, organization, and communication. Okay, so these are the 3 components, communication and problem solving. So there are three things, might be complicated, clear, emotional expression, collaborative problem solving. And under belief system as well, there are three bullets here, as you can see: making meaning of your adversity, positive outlook, and spirituality. And as far as organizational pattern is concerned, there must be flexibility, connectedness, social and economic resources, and all this makes up family resilience. Every family, will be very different in combining all these components, in dealing with, a crisis. So you can mix and match, all right, to deal with your crisis. Right, now, again, from the study that we have done, this is actually phase 2. The phase 1 is actually the systematic review. And from this qualitative research, this is what we found, that this is what they needed. As far as lifestyle changes in relation to COVID-19, factors that form resilience during COVID, stability during COVID-19 to social and financial resources, and collaborative problem solving needed during COVID-19. And as far as work-life balance is concerned, positive outlook in terms of crisis and making meaning out of adversity. And spousal intimacy, that is co-parenting responsibility and mutual respect, and open emotional sharing as well. And this, could come under communication as well. Parenting the online generation, that is online learning, creates stress to both parents and their children, and the negative effects of gadgets during the online learning, and parental education, the level of importance for online learning. And right. So how do we go about the development of the module here? And so we go ahead to develop the module because the findings from a systematic review and the findings from a qualitative research they actually inform the development of this module. So we come out with, say, module 1 that is all on communication to improve mental health, parent-child relationship, and to strengthen. And of course, at the end of each module itself, this is what we anticipate. So this is what the spouse, the family, the couple will learn at the end of this module. Subsequently, for the module 2, that's the enhanced belief system. There are three main things, right? Communication, belief, organizational pattern. So for this belief system is again to improve mental health being, parent-child relationship, and strengthening the and this is what we hope to achieve. The participants hope to gather after the session. The next will be the module 3, there's organizational pattern, and at the end of the day, this is what they will hope to achieve, from the module itself. Next. Right. Of course, for the whole, module, we have a scheduled time, for each module, how long it's going to take and whatnot. So for each of these sessions, these are the activities, that we have done to the couple. Apart from that as well, we have a weekly session with them, and every week, week 1, week 2, until week 10, these are the things that we provide the couple, mainly the husband and wife. And and for all the week, you can see, we cover the communication, the belief system, and the organizational pattern. And so that's the whole module that we have developed and is implemented in the community, out there. Now, how do I conclude from here? Building, a family of community resilience is indeed a very complex thing, and we do need to have a holistic approach. And of course, finding who are vulnerable, the risky community is the first step, who actually needs it. And it is relational, it is place-based, it varies on the demographic makeup of the residents and investment priority. And of course, in whatever you do, in any intervention you do, it has, to be tailor-made based on local context, local knowledge and learning, and effective governance and relationship. And of course, I think investing in these crucial areas will help to ensure well-being and sustainability. Right, sorry. So my last slide. Right, so I didn't do the model all by myself. Due credit is given to my fellow teachers, and they are all here. Thank you.